Welcome back to Bonded by Bravo. I'm your host, Amy, joined with my friend Jenna. What's up, Jen?
What's up? I hear it's hot as fuck over there again.
So weird because it's really not.
Oh, I see Philly schools
There's
are closed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so weird. I guess cuz it's going to be 95 today, but like tomorrow it's going to be 77 and yesterday it was 81.
Oh, I think Philly was 105 today. And so the schools were like,
It's also
yeah.
like it's August when schools are in. So you're like, yeah, I don't know.
Why is that? I thought it was after Labor Day. I don't know. I
Same.
guess it
Like
doesn't matter.
I never went to school before.
Never. That's like sacrilegious.
Yeah. Is this a new thing? I don't know what's going on.
I don't know either.
Um,
We don't have time for this anyway, though. So.
no, we have so much to talk about. Well, first, I just want to say we promised our listeners an episode
Oh,
last week. Guys, we had this awesome episode with Holly T and Jeremy,
Car.
Jeremy Carr. We had so much fun on this episode. However, you know how technology works, and you know me and Jenna are not technologists, but things got lost in the cloud that exists. And so we're going to have to re-record it. That's why you didn't hear us last week talk about the OC, but we're going to get into it today. And next week, we are so excited. Our episode's going to be with Larry from Bravo by Gaze. So if you don't know who Larry from Bravo by Gaze is, if you ever see the 7-minute screeners of the Bravo shows, Larry from Bravo by Gaze almost exclusively gets those. And we're going to have him on next week. And we are so freaking pumped. So tune in. I know. Tune in next week. We're so excited for that. And we will have Holly T and Jeremy Carr back on in the upcoming week. So stay tuned for that as well. But Jen, what are we talking about today?
Oh my God, so many things. Okay, so obviously Brittany filing for divorce.
We have so much Brazo news.
Yes. VPR, some VPR rumors, a few things just regarding Summer House. I just want to touch briefly on, I know it might be even a little dated, but Bethenny Frankel losing her shit at that Hamptons market was some real unhinged behavior.
And then, so weird. I have not seen this and don't know what you're talking about.
It's something. It is something. It's something.
Okay.
I can't believe you haven't seen it. I've even heard like 3 podcasts talk about it at this point too. Like it was on Vile Files. I think you don't listen to Bravo comments by Bravo, but then we'll talk about it. Tom Girardi found guilty, although I don't know if this is like news. Like I feel like we knew this was going to happen. No,
I think because he was claiming. I think there was speculation because of his old age and them trying to say that he had dementia. That I don't know if I think the jury was out, as they say.
Oh, okay. And then we'll get into Real Housewives of OC because this might be a strong statement, but this might be the most recent episode I watched of OC. I've watched it 3 or 4 times. I think it's my favorite episode of Housewives in like history. There was just so many different like dynamics that I like that this season is we're not holding on to one storyline to drag us through this whole season, which can happen a lot in Bravo. A lot.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could say the Shannon is like the stronghold of the season, but if Tamra has anything to do with it.
But even that we get like distracted by, like there were moments, we'll get into it, but like even the moment that like Jen and Tamra had about like their kids and like their family dynamics, that was, to me, I don't know. I think I'm going to go back and do a whole rewatch because I don't know what happened with Tamra and her daughter.
Yeah, they've been estranged for years and years. Basically, according to Tamra, her husband brainwashed the daughter against her, but also the daughter has said now that she's a little older that she didn't like that Tamra would talk about her business on social media, not on social media, on the show.
So I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole last night, and that's sort of that's, I guess, kind of what I learned. Yeah. All right. Well, let's start with, we have to start with Brittany and Jax. Like, must.
I'm shocked.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not talking
Oh,
about.
I was like,
what are we talking about?
I thought you were being serious.
I honestly am shocked that that Brittany pulled the plug. I think many people were. There's this clip of James Kennedy going around from his confessional saying, like, Jax, I'm happy for Brittany and Jax. Jax is the perfect first ex-husband. And I think we're all thinking exactly that. I've heard that she's now dating one of his, like, sleeping with his friend or dating a friend of a friend.
Did you see that on Bravo and Cocktails?
I mean, my only news source, of course.
Yeah. I wonder who it is.
I think they talked about it. It's whoever that they're talking about in these.
But it's not the Bachelor guy. So it's someone different from who she's been spotted with.
Okay.
That's why I'm a little confused.
Okay. Interesting.
Did you think it was the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same because Jax actually had like no affiliation with that Bachelor guy.
Oh.
So it's like also someone like in the group. I have no idea. It's like, going to be this season of The Valley. It's going to be so explosive.
I hope so because
it is.
Last season was like kind of interesting, but you know, they kept us on the seat of our pants and we're like, are we going to care about this next season? I couldn't tell if I was going to care. But now that Brittany and Jax are back at it, because you know Jax is going to have so much to say since he's been released from rehab. But apparently Jesse was the only one that went and picked him up from rehab.
Well, hold on. That's not actually, I don't think, true. I think that the other people were going to, and then he had a like flipped his shit and had a tantrum and said, no, none of these people, whatever. I don't even know what he said, but I can, in my head, I'm imagining him saying like, they don't even care about me. They didn't reach out. They can't come with the cameras, that kind of thing. And then
whoa. Do you really think that Jack said they can't come with the cameras?
No. Can't come because they want to be on camera.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No. Those cameras are, I would be shocked if they're not inside.
That he's not filming like day one. Like, I had a really bad one day. First
he's like
day.
doing his confessionals.
Journaling. He set up like in his room and it's like
Love Island
journaling. And he's just like has his little journal. Like step one.
Yeah, he's good. And then it's just like one day of journaling through the whole thing.
He's like, do you see it? Do you see it?
Day one. I hate it here. What I was thinking though is Brittany's parents and family, like I think they're having a week-long celebration in Kentucky. I think all the farm animals are they're partying. Like everyone is having a time right now. Mima is making so much beer cheese for this event.
But this is the thing, like as much as we want to say that, Brittany comes from a very traditional background where divorce is also very frowned upon.
Not if it's with Jax Taylor. I'm sorry. Like it's either you're stay married to Jax Taylor or you get divorced. I'm pretty sure like the more conservative move in this is the divorce.
I hope obviously her family is so Jax Taylor. It's going to be an interesting season, and we're getting some like scoop here and there. I just don't know how like Jax is now that the divorce papers are out. Like how, like it's almost like his handcuffs are off. Like what's holding him back from being old Jax?
His child, maybe, hopefully, honestly, hopefully, fingers crossed, because I do think he loves that kid so much. I hope that's enough. I hope that, what's the kid's name again? Cruz is enough for him to like be better.
Fingers crossed.
I don't think he's ever going to be in like a monogamous relationship ever again.
Oh, I mean,
I don't know that he even was, to be honest.
And I also, I'm sure he will call any relationship that he's in next a monogamous relationship, but like Jax. I mean, hopefully we're blocked by Jax on all of our social medias, so we don't know what's going. We're very proud. So we don't know what's going on. But we'll hear rumors. What else? Well,
I think since this news has break, I've seen stuff about, it was like right after this news broke, all of a sudden the rumor mill is going about, and I saw it on Bravo and Cocktails too, but that like now they really are considering a complete teardown of the cast for VPR, which like we've been saying for so long, like that would just make a lot of sense. But I think now that the Valley has so much there that it gives them a little bit of room to grow like a new VPR cast. Like there won't be so much pressure. Like you have to deliver on this first season. Like I think it's like we're going to be distracted by what's happening on the Valley, which gives them, the producers, a little bit of time to like figure out what's happening over here. You know, get them also, that first season, like how we did. We gave grace with the Roni reboot. Like we liked it, but like we know that there wasn't like, it's like we're ready for this next season because we gave grace to that first reboot season because we knew it was a reboot season.
But I also think it was a great reboot season.
No,
like, I
totally.
don't think you could compare the Valley to Roni reboot. Like Roni reboot was so good. The Valley was to me very meh.
Okay, then I'll compare what they're gonna do with the new VPR to like the Valley and like.
But I think they could. I think they could kill the VPR reboot with doing what we've always said.
Yeah.
Like go back to the basics. Go back to what this is.
That's what they're saying. They said that they are talking to current staff members from Sir and Tom or whatever it is now. I don't know. Tom or Pom. And I think kind of intermingling both of those spots.
Speaking of, I don't know if you've heard this rumor.
No. I don't know, maybe. What?
We have another male DJ in the mix. Tom Schwartz is
I can't do this again. Why don't they just let us?
Tom Schwartz is DJing at Schwartz and Sandy's for an upcoming event. Like, how is this the new midlife crisis?
I'm not talking about this. Let's move on.
Can't they just like go and buy a Ferrari or something?
No. Why is this happening? I literally don't want to talk about another fucking DJ in his 40s.
FYI, Kyle hates us and we love that. Yeah, another DJ in their 40s. It's like the new midlife crisis is becoming a DJ. If I ever become a DJ, know that I've gone off the deep end.
It's like one thing to be a DJ. It's another thing, like be passionate about it.
100%.
It's one thing to pick it up in your fucking mid-40s post-divorce.
Right.
You know,
I think it's like these men.
Kyle's is pre-divorce.
Right, pre-divorce.
He's really gonna hate us now.
That's okay.
And we're
speaking the truth. We love your wife, and we're so excited for what's next to her. Style icon.
Wait, real quick on Schwartz. Did you see the video that Joe released?
Actually, reposted it to our account.
What is happening? I actually think I feel bad. Like, what is happening?
I don't feel bad for her because I think she's very
what?
I don't think she's very self-aware.
Why is there no shame with this?
That's scary because then I'm like, maybe I should feel bad because if she doesn't feel shame, is she okay?
Mm-hmm.
I felt so uncomfortable watching that. And she said, this has taken me a long time to post and this is me healing.
Bitch, that took you 30 seconds. The thought came into your brain and then you posted. That's part of the problem.
How is posting a video montage of you and your ex in happy times? Like, was it to prove to us that they were actually a couple? Because we all believed her. Like, I believed that he was gaslighting her. Like, I believed
1,000%.
her. Yeah.
Why would we not? We watched him do it with Katie for 10 years. Like,
right. Yeah,
I just don't know how this could be part of your healing journey. It seems more hurting than healing.
Hurtful to her. I don't think Tom Schwartz gives a shit.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Schwartz isn't paying attention to that.
No, that's what I mean. More hurtful. Like, no one's talking about it anymore. You're just bringing it back up, which means you're inviting more comments. Like, that's what makes me think, oh, this is like so sad that she's so desperate for attention that she's willing to put this kind of shit out there just for the clicks.
You know what energy she brings? She brings Andrea Love Island energy, like thirsty. This was so cringy. Like turn around in a circle, give your guns, and say, "Yeah, he was a good kisser." Like where you like want to look away and be like, don't do it. Like your face, like the grimace face on the emojis, like the please don't. Yeah.
It's like the secondhand embarrassment you get.
Yeah,
like,
the secondhand embarrassment. You're like, oh.
And it's like not even, it's like for like she's not feeling embarrassed, but like we as strangers feeling embarrassed.
No, that's the thing. The self-awareness, like she's not. Thoughts and prayers, Joe.
Thoughts and prayers. Okay, let's get into a little bit of Summer House stuff. Speaking of our girl Amanda, she's named creative director for some eyewear brand. I don't know the brand, but I did actually hear her talking about it last week when she was saying she's got like so many different pairs of this brand of eyeglasses. But I did want to, it made me think. You sent me something on TikTok because yes, I checked my TikTok for the first time.
You did. I'm annoyed.
Okay, that's progress.
Okay, wait, not created. Okay, she creative directed a collection from Otra, if that's how you say it. Okay. So she basically like picked some pieces. Okay. Wait. I just want to take that back. I'm not diminishing what she did. Super cool. I feel like she's starting to get into her influencer era, and we are here for it. Let's buy the sunglasses. Let's see how much they are.
Okay. So you sent me this thing on TikTok last week or who knows how long ago. And it was a fan theory saying basically like Kyle and Amanda played up their problems so that they could sort of
hard
launch Amanda into and everyone would be on Amanda's side, and that we'd all like rally around her and buy her products, and then they could quietly dissolve Loverboy. And I don't really think that's the case. Like, I really don't. But I will say, like, right after I watched that video, 2 days later, this came up, and I was like, maybe? And then I was like, no. Because I just don't think Amanda could do that. Like, I don't know if she has that, like, acting ability to.
I don't think Kyle's ego could take dissolving Loverboy.
Also, when he went through that can. When he threw that can and was like, "Well, I want to be a DJ," like he was hammered, and that was sadly very authentic. Kyle.
And we've seen it before. Like his ego is would never allow for him to dissolve Loverboy. It's interesting. I think it's always fun to watch fan theories because people like really get into it. I know that we love Bravo, but like to create these conspiracy theories sometimes, I don't know if I have it in me. Like I'm here for the like, jumping on the bandwagons. Like Amanda, for me, I'm like starting to see her do the things that we want for her. I just checked those sunglasses, $65, reasonably priced.
We love that.
Yeah.
A Ray-Ban. Yeah.
And like, I'm happy for everything that's coming her way. And I mean, is Kyle really going to leave Loverboy to continue his DJ career?
The thing is, if he has to, he's gonna have to. Like, if it makes more sense for him to be bought out by a larger distributor, and the money's right, then he's gonna have to.
And that's different than dissolving Loverboy. Like being bought out, take the money. Like, go ahead, let Bud buy you out, and then go move to New Jersey. Like, go ahead. Kyle has always had an entrepreneurial spirit, as he says, and I'm sure he would just start something else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay. Well, so then speaking of, I guess, fan theories and well, this isn't really a fan theory, I guess. Actually, I did have a thought last night laying in bed. I was talking to my friend via text. If I went back and read the text messages I had with my friend last night, she was a little wine drunk. I was a little stoned, and we're like going like it was just like pages of Bravo stuff. But one of them that I got, I was like kind of I keep seeing Paige and like I keep seeing them in. I just really hope that they are not too busy for each other. Like, I don't think it would be that they broke up because they're not in love. They are never in the same place. They are both so busy that I'm like, how logistically, like, I know that they're doing the long distance thing and they have but like, and I know that they keep a lot of the stuff, like a lot of their relationship private intentionally, but just like, if you follow both of them, they really haven't been in the same place because both of them have these booming careers right now. Also, did you see they sold out Radio City?
Who?
Hannah and Paige.
Yeah, but I don't think this is their first time selling out radio.
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. They've done Radio City before.
But I just have concerns, and I just hope to make it. That's all.
Well, to be clear, also, Paige is shooting Summer House right now, so it's not like she can really go somewhere. Right before summer, they were on this Italian vacation for like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
the European vacation.
They just haven't been together since then. You know,
but do we know that they weren't together, or we're just not seeing them posting together? Because I don't know about you, but I can't tell you the last time I posted my husband on my Instagram or in a story.
So true, but it's just like I see his as well.
Yeah, but that doesn't. I feel like they're not the type of people to be like, "Oh, I love you."
No, I know, and I feel like I totally acknowledged that in the beginning of when I started saying this. Like, I acknowledge that they intentionally try and hide it. But if you're following Craig as well, he's been in Nashville. Now he's going to Paris with his parents. Like, there's been just a lot of distance. I really want them to work, and so I'm just paying it really close, probably too close attention. But I need because them to see this all the way through.
Yeah, and I think we probably just don't know when they see each other because a flight from New York to Nashville is like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
like from everything they've always said, like if you listen to Giggly, like she's up and down there every 2 days and 3 days, and maybe we're just not seeing it.
And I don't listen to Giggly Squad, so that
And I have my own theories about Paige and Craig that we don't have to talk about, but we don't agree on it.
We don't.
We don't agree on it.
Okay, leaks. So then, we haven't heard anything about them, and maybe it's because Danielle's not in the house.
We haven't heard anything about who?
About anything Summer House related. And
but we've heard a little.
But have you seen the comments like online about how there's like been so little reported on regarding Summer House, and everyone's commenting, Danielle's not there. It's because Danielle's not filming. Danielle's out. All of this stuff. And then the other comparison is, compare Summer House to Vanderpump Rules. And it's like, you can't even, it's just like, it goes to show the leaks come from inside the house.
Well, and sure, the only thing the only thing I've heard about Summer House is Jesse and the new girl. I don't know about, like, that's the only thing I've seen, that they're dating, that she's met the parent.
Is it a leak if they're both posting each other on Instagram?
Well, this was before that. This was like in the very beginning.
Date with the
hand. And I think this was like way before that. This was like in the first few weeks. But that's like, it's not like we're hearing any of the drama like we've heard before, how like glasses were thrown and, I wonder if Danielle leaked Lindsay's pregnancy. Sorry, I just said
it's just
a random thought.
It's just interesting to know how much, like, you always assume some of the leaks or some of the chatter is coming. I always picture it a friend of a friend, like they're telling someone. And I think almost sometimes explicitly telling them to tell Demois for their own narrative, maybe a little bit. But now, like, I think Danielle being out of it and seeing how little is kind of coming out of Summer House, it feels a little bit more pointed to the cast members now. Well, for both VPR and Danielle.
It's actually funny because also Danielle and Lindsay to me would be the perfect person to leak, but she's too smart to leak. And Danielle is like the perfect puppet. Mm-hmm. And it's also funny because Lindsay's happy right now. So she's not leaking anything, and she wants a private life. So she doesn't want, she doesn't want anyone to know who her boyfriend is. She doesn't want anyone to know this, that, and the other thing. So she's kind of keeping it low key. This is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So because they about VPR last year, we paid it like the last season we watched, we kind of knew everything we were watching.
Yeah, that's true. And it's true. I don't, other than Lexi and Jesse dating, I don't think I know anything. There's a lot.
I don't heard anything about Wes at all. like nothing.
The only thing I think I said on here is that he had the second season slump. There's been a lot of douchey like Carl, Jesse, West, and
photos.
Kyle pictures. It's so weird how much we like were stans of West last year, and like he's given me the ick. Oh my God, did you see?
Oh.
Okay. This made me just think, speaking of, did you see that he works for Complex and he got a dating show on Complex?
I'm so confused by this.
Okay, so he got a dating show on Complex and they thought the appropriate person for him to go on his first date was the Hurrdat girl. So imagine going from Sierra to the Hurrdat girl. And I get it. It's a bit. We're doing this for a bit, but like,
okay. I don't get it. I just don't get this whole show premise at all.
So he's going to go on dates with people a la
is this like
the cheap man's bachelor?
I was going to say, wasn't there a Bravo show called like Relationship or something?
Oh my God. Yes. It's so funny. Meek referenced that the other week and it was the funniest reference. It must have been when he just moved here because it was the weirdest show, but Complex is doing it. It's not like Bravo's sponsoring it, you know?
Jesus. So like,
ding, ding.
Ding, ding. If I don't set a reminder for it, I really will forget. And I need the Metamucil.
This is a geriatric podcast, guys.
Sucks.
Yeah. Anyway, that was that.
Okay. Well, since you didn't see the Bethenny Frankel thing, I just am like, do we even? We have to talk about it for briefly. So basically, she goes into this market. Maybe you've been to this market in the Hamptons, and I guess she used to like rave about their chicken sandwich or chicken salad or something.
Oh my God! I saw this little girl on my TikTok go with the Staten Island accent. Bethenny, I went to the market and I got the sandwich. I'm going to let you know how it is. And I was like, what is going on in this?
Okay. So that
video.
Okay. So this
is. Go ahead.
Okay. So basically she goes into this market that people, I guess, know about this fried chicken. I don't even know if it's a fried chicken. It's chicken sandwich. Goes in. And people are buying it because of her. So then she goes in and she's like filming herself going in and she goes in. She's talking to the people that she's with. Like, I'm expecting a really big response, like a big reaction when I walk in. So then she goes in and people are just like, hi, how are you? Like the people who work there are just like, hi, how are you? And she leaves and she's like, I am pissed. Not one person even acknowledged what I have done for this store. Like, these are people that are just working there. Like,
what are they like? 20-year-olds?
Exactly, like who are living in the Hamptons for the summer.
You're not their demo. They don't know you, boo.
It was really wild. And I just started to think, if you don't want to...
weird thing to say.
And also, like, if you want to... I don't know. I just feel for her daughter and all this. Like, you're so thirsty that you can't even spare your daughter the humiliation. Can you imagine your own mom? I would be mortified. I literally don't think I would talk to my mom.
Like, was the point of you doing this like out of the greater good of your heart? It's like that Friends episode where Phoebe's like trying to do. Were you a Friends girl or no?
No, but I've seen enough of them.
So Phoebe, there's this one episode where Phoebe's like trying to do a good deed, but doesn't want to feel good about the good deed. And so she's like trying to do a good deed, trying to do a good deed, but like she's like, Joey's on this fundraiser. And her donation to the fundraiser makes him win $10,000 or something, whatever. It makes him be like the biggest seller. Anyway, whatever. But like, it's kind of like that. Like you want recognition for helping out a mom and pop shop. And then you're like, say that in the silence, girl. Like, why are you saying that out loud? Like, whisper it to your friend maybe on the side if that's how you really feel. Like, don't put that.
But also to be like upset with the worker, like the people the staff that works there is so bizarre. Like, she's like, you have to watch this video in full and then like after this and then text me. The entitlement. Like Nick Viall was talking about on his podcast, and I just totally disagreed with what he was saying. He was like, at least she's like her authentic self. Like, we know who she is. Like, and I'm like, that does not make this any better.
It doesn't give you permission. Yeah. And it doesn't give you permission to always suck.
Exactly. That's what I felt. I was like, that's just like validating people who suck. Like, no, how about don't suck and do better next time? What about that? Is that an option?
Self-awareness. Do you think she goes to therapy? I've been thinking a lot about people who go to therapy or should go to therapy.
I know that you've been preaching therapy for, this is going to be a tangent, therapy for so long. And
I'm so afraid about what you're about to say.
No. And I did it personally for a while and then halfway through the pandemic, I sort of had to stop. And I loved it during then, but like being back in it, I'm like, the aha moments that seem so simple, it's like, it's just wild how fucking effective it is. I really can't, it's like in the last 5 weeks or whatever it's been, 5-6 weeks, I feel like my entire relationship has changed. I feel like I'm in year one I'm like in a honeymoon phase again.
It's like I say this to my friends to get them there, and it always doesn't work. So I think everyone should be in therapy, and this will be a little, I just like, there's no one that shouldn't be in it, that no one's above it. And it's just because you are not equipped as a human being with tools to navigate life and every situation or hand you've been dealt. And so because of just your general circumstances, you navigate life in a certain way. And like all therapy does is like give you the reasons why you navigate that way, and then tools to try to do it differently. You're not always going to do it differently. And you're going to mess it up a bunch, but like knowing that you have the tools, I mean, it's changed. So, I mean,
it's crazy.
So many things for me.
So this is, yes, everyone go get that therapy, and like
BetterHelp sponsor us.
When I told someone, not like a lot of the people I know are also in some form of therapy, whether it be with a partner or not. But when I was telling, like, there's certain people when I told someone and his response was, "Oh, like, is everything okay? Like, what's wrong with you guys?"
Oh yeah.
And I was like, literally nothing. Like, I mean, not nothing, but like, I was like, no, it's not really about that. It's just to like make sure we're, like want a super solid foundation.
And that's what I always say. Like, why would I not want to be the best version of myself?
Totally.
Someone used this. I don't remember where I saw that, but being like, you go to the gym. This is like the same thing as going to the gym. And so,
yeah.
Interesting.
Well, that was a cute little tangent. Tom Girardi, do you want to talk about that at all?
Speaking of, yeah, I guess we can't really segue that. I was
there's no
try to do it.
There's no segue there.
So Tom Girardi was found guilty on all 15 charges against him.
Does this mean anything for Erica Jane? Like, does this change anything for her, or?
I mean, her story.
Like,
her story about how we'll see what the court says. I mean, everything. I want to read the Bravo docket, and I wish I had a chance to read it before this, because, well, what this means is he's facing up to 80 years in prison. And I'm sure he's probably going to, I actually don't know. I shouldn't even say that, but there's definitely going to be some prison sentence with this.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to claim he wasn't able to stand trial because of his health, and then they were able to prove that wrong. The Bravo docket, if you want to read up about what all of this means and implies, had some really good information on there. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Okay. Just because it was really interesting, and we should have them on, just because I feel like we always want to talk about. Why can't I find it? It's the Bravo docket, right?
That's the podcast that those girls do that are lawyers, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, here it is. Okay. So what does this mean? The money man. Okay. So amount of money involved is an aggravating factor in the sentencings. For example, if the loss amount exceeded $70,000, the guidelines recommend an increase of 8 points. That factor alone would lift the sentencing range to between 15 and 21 months. If the amount of loss exceeds $1 million, the guidelines recommend adding 16 points. A level 22 range advises a judge to impose a term of between 41 and 51 months. If the loss exceeds $100 million, the level increases by 26 points to 32. This range starts at 121 months and extends to 151 months. Okay, let me see what else, because that doesn't really help me.
I was like, okay, sure.
Okay. Okay, so if the government finds that the defendant used mass marketing to perpetuate the fraud, the guidelines increase by 2 levels. If the fraud victimized more than 10 people, the guidelines will increase by 2 more levels. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. It sounds bad. Hopefully bad.
Confusing.
It sounds like he'll probably end up dying in prison.
Yeah.
I mean, he's old.
Yeah. Something else I want to talk about real quick. Yeah. You know, my favorite Olympian, Alana Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
She just got the cover of the September Swim Sports Illustrated.
Oh, that's cool.
Is it Sports Illustrated?
Sports Illustrated would be the big one.
Sports Illustrated.
Yeah,
Sports Illustrated, which is so wonderful to see a woman with an actual, real, beautiful body be on the cover. And so I just wanted to shout that out. Shout out Alana Mayer. I'm a huge fan.
Where is she from?
Vermont, Burlington, Vermont. I remember I said like Midwest vibes, but Burlington, Vermont.
Okay, got it. Also, did you see I guess this just took me right to Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce. $100 million deal for 3 years.
With Wondery. Those guys.
That's
I don't think
Armchair Expert went with too. So Wondery's clearly trying to do some shit.
Yeah. I'm happy for them. Other people that are doing some serious shit. I don't know if you saw Call Her Daddy, $125 million for Sirius XM. So for any of those wondering if Wondery's interested, if Sirius is interested, we're ready for our contracts. Yeah.
Well, we have one, but yes.
We can do both. we can do both.
Yeah, the $100 million for 3 years, the Kelce's. I think was Adam Sandler on there today.
Yeah.
I think he might have
I didn't get to listen to it all.
Wow, those guys are fucking crushing it
so much.
I know, so much. Okay, let's get into not a perfect segue, but Real Housewives of Orange County.
I'm sorry, my nose itches so bad, and I feel like I've been itching at this entire pod. Go ahead. Before we get into that, speaking of nose itching, did you hear our OG Vicki had sepsis?
I know. What is that anyway?
It's like when your blood is infected. Ugh. Actually, you know when you sometimes think you're just making shit up?
I think it's the third time we've done this today.
I just want to make sure I'm giving real facts.
That's good. Okay. Because I listened to Disrespectfully this morning a little bit, and I love Dana, but she was talking about some stuff that I was like, this is so, like, she was recapping a little bit of the Lacey Peterson case, and she got like 3 like back-to-back facts like wrong, and I was this is why it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and this is why we love Monica Padman from Armchair. Okay, sepsis is a life-threatening medical condition that arises when the body responds to an infection causing widespread inflammation. It's often referred to as blood poisoning.
Damn. Oh my god.
And so
did you feel that? Like, did your body hurt?
No. I mean, yeah, always, but not particularly for this. She had.
Did you just make that answer up?
My nose is itching so bad. I feel like I look like a crazy woman. So she had pneumonia and it turned to sepsis. So the inflammation must have spread. And she was having like stroke-like symptoms with one of her clients who, thank God, just so happened to be a doctor. And
this happens often where these crazy situations happen. And then the only person around is a doctor. And I'm like, I'm not like, I don't know what I believe in, but like something happens in those moments for sure. But anyway, proceed.
So a doctor was around and they thought she was having a stroke. Yeah. And so they brought her to the hospital, and blood poisoning, like you can die from sepsis.
Yeah, of course.
This is another
I think
fact
she
that I'm about to say. I think you have to be quarantined.
I think she came out and said that she had like a very low chance of survival, didn't she?
10 to 20%. No, you don't have to be quarantined. Okay, I'm just ChatGPT and everything. No, she had a 10 to 20% chance to live, which is insane. She's fully recovered, bouncing back. She's actually on our network too, Hurrdat Entertainment. So shout out to Vicki, the OG of the OC. We are thinking of you and wishing you well, and glad that you're feeling better.
She's not even just the OG of the OC. She's like the OG of all the Housewives.
OG, yeah, for sure.
Number one on the call list.
Number one on the call list. And so funny, before we get into the OC, I wanted to ask you this question last week, but which house would you have rather stayed in? Big Bear or Palm Springs?
Palm Springs.
And give me like why?
It's such a long story. Well, one of the most tragic, I don't know what, is tragic the right word?
Okay, wait. Okay. To be specific, based on like the people.
Still going Palm Springs because I can't stand Tamra and Alexis. You want me to be in a house with Tamra and Alexis for 2-3 days?
Just curious.
How about you?
Pick? It's weird because obviously Alexis like doesn't shut up. She reminds me of someone I know that wild. Like you don't even have to talk to them and they're just talking. You don't have to ask them a question. You don't have to prompt them. And
Katie said that in her confessional. She's like, nice thing about being around Alexis is like, you don't have to think of anything to say. No. Like she just has something to say at all given time.
And there's someone I know that is exactly like this.
Do I know them?
No, you would no. I would never bring this person around people that no.
Fair.
And they don't live here anymore. They moved away. But they were torturous to be around because and that part. But I do think that the house that looked like more fun was Palm Springs. But I don't think I could take being with the people either.
That brings me to my, I was gonna say it at some point.
No, I said that wrong. The house that looked more fun was Big Bear, but I couldn't stand being with those people.
Yeah, that would suck. Ew, also the toe sucking was too much for me. I wanted to throw up. I was like, this is disgusting.
A foot in a pie?
Ew. Oh my God, stop. I hate it.
God,
I hate
like sticky. Ew.
Like, I guess I prefer a Big Bear is like vibe. Like I like the mountain vibe compared to a desert. I'm not like a desert girl. So fucking hot. But yeah, Alexis and Tamra, I couldn't. I like Jen. I actually really like Katie. You know who
what do you like about her?
I don't know, but you know who I'm not really liking anymore? Heather.
Tell me why.
I don't think I like, she is a little bit pretentious. And
oh my God.
And she's like not letting up with this thing with Gina. And it's like, for what? No one even cares anymore. Like, move on. Everyone else has.
But this is when Tamra said RIP, like, this is what Tamra meant.
Let it go.
Tamra meant like, you're not like in the Teresas of it all. Like, she's never going to forget this. She's never going to forget this. Social suicide. And like, it's just, she's not going to let it go.
In opposition to like my personality too, who could like, someone could probably like murder and I'd be like, it's fine. Like, we'll get over it. Like, I can't, I like don't have it in me to like hold on to things. And watching Heather hold on to this paparazzi gate, it's like, who cares? Like, even if you want to be right, like at the very least, what you could say is like, yeah, that photo looks super staged and move on. Like,
I think if anything in my head, it admits
that it totally
guilt.
Exactly. And so it's getting really frustrating, but
yeah.
So the thing is last week we had filmed our the OC portion with that other podcast. So I'm like trying to remember, do we need to bring any of that up now, or should we just get right into the most recent episode?
Yeah, let's get into this.
Okay. Okay, so where do we want to start?
I mean, the episode was, so they were in Big Bear, we're in Palm Springs. Shannon, I think it was good to see Shannon feeling comfortable around Gina, Emily, Heather.
And Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I just think the one thing that I kept thinking was funny from the week before was just how Gina wanted everything to be perfect and them all just cracking up and spilling shit everywhere. Because that's just like Amy 101. That would have been me. That I just would have been, yeah.
Yeah, I really like this scene with Shannon because you could tell actually in the beginning of that conversation, they all had a little bit of like, not so much Gina, but Heather and Emily, I think, were ready to a little bit be on the defense with Shannon. And then they really saw her like fully go through that emotion and break down. And they were like, I think they had like in their heads, they were like, oh, fuck, this is actually like, this is really, really hurting her. And we need to like lay off a little bit and put our guard down and acknowledge that what is happening is really fucked up.
And it's also, and they do need to acknowledge that because two things are happening. Her ex-partner, like imagine all of the things that you and your partner in 3 years do together. Mm-hmm. And imagine, okay, I get it. These are big things, a facelift and whatever the other thing is. I can't even remember. These are big things, but like you're in a partnership and then he breaks up with you and you get a DUI because we all knew something toxic happened in that moment. We've all been there where we're chasing after someone or somebody's doing some stupid shit in a breakup that is just embarrassing. She gets a DUI. And instead of one of her best friends being there, her best friend then turns on her. Mm-hmm. After she turns on her, befriends the ex-wife of the man who tried to sue her a few years before that. Like all of this piling on in one of the darkest times
moments of her life.
Like how it's just, it's really.
And then even to bring some of the financial aspect of it in, it's like Tamra pulls out of the Tres Amigos. There goes a little bit of income. Meanwhile, and now on top of that, she's getting sued by this person. Her ex-best friend is still hanging out with this person. And now they're like filming. And then on top of that, she has to film a show with these people because she does need that money. So it's so layered and dark. Like I can't even imagine where Shannon's head must have gone through some of the height of this.
No,
it's really sad.
If you think about, like, if I think about my breakup with my ex of however many years and then having to talk about it publicly and it's so fresh still to her. Mm-hmm. I think a year from now when she's reflecting or even at the reunion, she's going to have different eyes on things. But if anything, I think she'll see who her real friends are. And the issue I'm having is Tamra's coming in so hot and thinking that her aggression is helpful. Mm-hmm. I know we're going to talk about the last scene. I want to hold my thoughts till then.
Okay, then I'll hold my thoughts on that as well.
I just want to wait till we get there, just because that I thought that breakfast scene was really good to see them, but Heather was a little weird in that.
Okay, so that was when I had the real aha, there was something about her response to that felt so cold that it was like, you have so much fucking money that I understand you can't relate, but you see this woman in tears right now, you can't even find it in your deepest parts to have compassion for her. And I bet in my head I was looking at Heather thinking the only thing she's thinking about right now is fucking how she's mad at Gina for paparazzi gate. It felt selfish as fuck.
And I think that's always been Heather to me. Heather's
that's why
one-dimensional.
I really am gonna do a full rewatch. And I do want to just say we are not, we understand that drinking and driving is a terrible thing to do. Do not do it. We are not, validating her for doing that. But it's just two things can exist. She could have really fucked up and she could be really fucking hurting right now.
100%. And then for one of her closest friends.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I'm really bothered about, and I think you also from conversations we had, is Tamra's approach of calling. Tamra's trying to say that she's calling Shannon out on being a quote unquote alcoholic, that's coming from a place of almost care, or that Shannon needs to be called out on it.
Yeah.
And I think if you've known anyone in addiction, this is not how you approach this topic. Nothing that Tamra's doing feels like it's coming from a place of love. It feels like it's coming from the exact opposite. It feels very dark. It feels very, and
you can't tell an addict they're an addict. That's the other thing. Like they need to come to that on their own, and you just have to support them along the way.
I think if that was her good friend, like she's claiming, she could have that conversation from a very empathetic, from a very caring tone. I'm worried about you. You drove your car in a home. What a conversation that would be to have on TV, Tamra. What a storyline that would be to actually have a real conversation with your good friend, supporting her through instead of attacking her.
Such a good point, because you know that there are women all over the that probably have a friend that they're concerned about, but don't know how to really breach that conversation.
100%.
And it's like this, to have it on a TV show like this where so many women are watching, that would be a great platform to do this. Instead, she's taking the exact opposite route of that. And she's like claiming it because she's so frustrated. It's like,
no, it's not.
Bury your frustration and don't do it like this. Like, and then say nothing at all. That's how I feel. Then say nothing at all.
And I think, to your point, none of us believe it's frustration. Everyone thinks, I think it's betrayal. I think it makes you a scumbag human being to do this to someone. You sat there in that episode and said, I've been friends for you for 10 years. Doesn't that count? Honestly, Tamra, after what you just pulled over the last few times, I feel like that negates the 10 previous years of having her back and doing all of this. Because if you truly believe that this person had an addiction and that you were worried about them, even when Shannon went up to go to the bathroom and take a minute to herself, Tamra says, oh, what, did she go and get a drink?
Exactly. And then she doubles down on Watch What Happens Live too.
Like, do you care about her?
No,
or do you care about your storyline?
She's trying to manipulate, like she's using her, she's she's manipulating the situation so that she sounds like she's trying to almost convince herself. I think she has convinced herself.
Yeah, she's doing a good person.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, if this is how she parents her kids.
Okay, so that's kind of where the rabbit hole I went down last night a little bit. I guess since we're on the topic. So like okay, so they start talking about, actually this is perfect because we'll get right into like how they were talking about the family dynamics when they were still in Big Bear, and Jen's conversation about her family dynamic. And, you know, Tamra says about how she doesn't talk to her daughter. And we talked about this a little bit in the beginning. And it's just like, I just have to question, is this behavior going to get you there?
And oh God, I'm so hot about the way Tamra acts. Is this behavior going to get you there? Let's also mention Jen, her friend, Tamra's friend, is talking about how she's upset about her ex-husband being with her ex-best friend. So a very sensitive subject. And Tamra says, did you see this video? Did you see that video? This is how Tamra moves. She's slime.
That was, and then
why would you do that?
And then again, being so manipulative in it, and like starts crying and like
acting making like it about her.
Yeah, and like acting like it's this nice thing. It's like, you just brought this video up. That's so weird that you did that.
She obviously doesn't want to see that. There's not one person that would want to see that. And you bring it to light and then say, I understand what you're going through. If you truly understand what she was going through, you would know that she doesn't want to see this.
No
one wants to see this.
I know. That was so. And then Katie made a comment saying like she feels the same way about the co-parenting thing. And then hearing kind of Alexis too, I'm like, it was kind of just like this reminder, like, wow, life just continues to really, I don't know. It never really gets easier, I guess. Like there's just like so much that continues to happen. But yeah, the thing with Jen, yeah, the thing with hearing Jen's like background with her husband, like I feel like that's sort of the most we've heard like tidbits, but you can, like Ryan or not, you can understand what attracts her to him, and it's having attention from him. Like it sounds like she couldn't even get her ex-husband to look at her and spend time with her, and kind of like now he's with this new person who he's so excited to have time with. And it's like, if you're coming from a relationship where your partner is giving you nothing and the next person you meet is giving you everything, you're going for it. I don't care what you think about how we feel about Ryan. You're going for it. You're into that.
That's interesting. Because when I saw this in the outline, I had a very strong feeling about Jen. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting to hear your take. And I think I've spoken on this a little bit. And I'm not proud of it, but I almost feel like Jen is weak. And I don't always stick up for her. So it's interesting to see and hear your take on it.
I think at her core, she's a good person. So I find I can really see I'm rooting for Jen, whatever that means. I am definitely rooting for her. And I think she's going to be on the show for a while.
I also worry about her relationship with Ryan because I don't think it's good for her.
Yeah. But we've seen these women do this on the show before and bounce back. That's one of the great things about watching these Housewives is that we get to see them in these like tribal how do you say that? Trial and tribulations.
Trials and tribulations.
Trials and tribulations. I just
only because I've been through them.
I just blended all those words into one. And so like, you know, if Ryan takes her down, like we'll see her get back up. We will.
Hopefully.
She has this show half these women go on this show because they need it as like their net.
It's true. You know? I mean, we've seen, the things that you think we've seen in, the very beginning seasons of OC when, with like, oh my God, why can't I think of
Vicki had a fake cancer guy.
Vicki had a fake cancer guy, but who am I thinking of?
Get darker than that. I mean, Ryan could be scheming money, but like faking cancer makes him look like a goddamn saint.
Yeah, and I think that's Taylor Armstrong's husband.
Yeah, like we've seen
seen a lot of shit. I want to get into my very favorite friendship on Bravo TV, and that's Gina and Emily. This fight was my favorite fight I've ever seen. It was, it was so realistic for me. Mm-hmm. Like it made me feel like it's just how actual friends fight, and it just was so refreshing to see Gina and Emily have a fight when you're watching all of the Tamra and Shannon's bringing up dirty shit. Like, let me tell you what Emily and Gina are never going to do. They're never going to be at a table where one's accusing the other of being an alcoholic while they're at their worst of the worst. But
you could tell Gina had her concern. I think she is watching Tamra and Shannon as like, shit, like, could that happen to us? Like, fuck, these people are insane. And they have that great moment. That was such a good moment.
Where they hug and she's like, I don't want to be like them. And she's like, we're not going to be like them. We're normal. Yeah. I just felt that so strongly.
I get Gina's point. Like, I too like Emily, but I don't think I will never be down for. I've always been aggressive and a bit like, why is that a cool thing to be? Like, why would you not want to evolve out of that version of yourself? I'll never understand standing on that ground, like dying on that hill. Like I've always been that way. It's like, but don't be then.
But I think Gina said to Emily, like, I know you're working on this. So it seems like maybe it's something Emily's working on.
Okay.
In her therapy.
Yeah. I've seen that with like a lot of these housewives though, like not just them where they want to be like, I'm forward or I'm blunt, like, and it's just like, but that's not always a good thing.
But like as someone who is forward and blunt, I feel I
was actually curious on your take on this when I wrote this in the outline.
I think it depends. Like when I looked at Emily in certain situations, I think I could be aggressive as a like a protective mechanism. And it's like to say like, oh, you don't want to be like that. It's not that easy. It's like, that's my protection. So I only know how to be like that.
Let's
like,
take it to the scene when she's yelling at Jen about the money, like you're stupid or something.
Oh, see, I think that's drunk.
But still not cool at all. Like,
no, but like, I mean, that is, I just think, but like when you're used to being bold and loud, I think she's just being brazen. Like, you would never do that because that's not how you roll, but you might.
It's also so mean. Like the fact that they even popped into her head even while drinking is, to me, that's like alarming.
But I don't think Emily is like,
that was mean.
I think it was mean, but I don't think that Emily has the same malicious intent that Tamra would have.
See, I think in that scene she did. Like, it felt like she knew the cameras were on. It felt played up a little bit to me.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. I could see that. But I just think Tamra comes from a much more calculated place than Emily ever would.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think Emily is one of the more authentic housewives that I've seen. And I think that's why, you know, we talked about our top 5 on our secret episode that no one will ever hear. We'll have to bring that back. And Emily's up there for me.
Yeah.
And seeing this fight play out and how 2 friends can just have a fight and Gina stomping off and being like, and Travis is mad at me and Tara's mad at me and everyone's mad at me and the sprinklers are on. It was so iconic. And she's trying to run away and Emily's like, get back here. Like, if that's not a fight between me and my friend Alicia, then I just don't know what is. Yeah. It was just so iconic. It was so funny. And then they're crying and like, hugging. And my favorite thing too that I really loved about this friendship was when Heather and Shannon were like, what's going on? And they're like, nothing. It's fine. It's fine. Like, real friends aren't going to sit here and have like a kumbaya moment about what's going on. Like, we're moving on. We're definitely we're not spreading our business to you.
Yeah.
We're having this conversation. We're moving forward. And I just thought I liked seeing that.
Yeah. It does show that they are more normal than Shannon and Tamra.
Which is what they said. I don't want to be. It just is such an iconic moment. I loved it. And yeah.
Okay.
Emily being like, I have a racket. I didn't use it.
Let's talk about Alexis's dramatic exit from Big Bear when she lays down after she's talking to Johnny on the phone, and she's literally laying on the bed, and not everyone can see me right now, but she's like, her hand is on. It reminds me of the scene in It Takes Two when Mary Kate's character like she's like fainting at the mansion. She's like, and she like passes out and puts her hand on her forehead. It was so dramatic. I was like, this bitch, I can't with her. Like, Bravo, what are you doing to us? Why are you doing this?
Alexis was made for reality TV because she keeps on giving this bullshit. She's like, if she says, and she keeps threatening everyone with this video, she's dying to get it out. She's dying to get it out. And like, I still don't understand why she's crying about this. This isn't your problem.
It's not her. And also, haven't they been dating like 3 months at this point?
Johnny's
90 days. 90 days. You need 90. You're just qualifying for health care at a new job.
Oh, see, I mean, oh, right. Yeah.
Like 90 days.
Yeah. God, so many things more.
So the video, I guess, she tells Katie is like, Shannon, I guess, almost running over his daughter. And like, I'm not saying, I want to be clear. Like, that is
how you mumble that. Shannon running over Johnny J's daughter. Okay.
And it's like, I want to be clear. Like, that's obviously terrible, but it's like, no matter what was on that video footage, none of us out here are thinking it's great. No one's like, thinking that there's anything miraculous happening in it. We know it's bad footage. It's probably it's the worst moment of her life. Like, to be flaunting the worst moment of someone's life around the way that Alexis is so dirty.
And what does Alexis have against Shannon?
Except that, and like, she keeps saying like what she's done to Johnny's reputation. Like, what has she done? Like, the only thing
she never even talked bad about him when they were together.
It was everyone else.
She was protecting him, right? Tamra, who got on FaceTime right immediately when he was on there. John, you look good. I'm really.
And let's say that she's damaged his reputation within Orange County. Well, guess what? You guess who doesn't know about that? The rest of the country until now. Like, you're blowing this up so out of proportion that now everyone is looking into him. Like, no one was thinking about Johnny J. I hate that we're calling him Johnny J.
She's the only one that calls him that. Imagine you dated someone for 3 years and then he dated someone new and they had a completely different
new name.
She's such a tool bag.
She is.
She's going to be around for a while too, as long as she's dating him.
Well, especially since Bravo doesn't listen to a fucking word we say.
No, she's good. I mean, that whole scene, hand to the head, but like the sleeping beauty.
We don't know anything about Alexis. Like, I've seen some stuff online saying like we would love an update on Alexis.
Would we?
Any update? Like,
would we? I mean, I don't.
Then why is she on the show? The only reason she's on the show is she's
Johnny J's mouthpiece.
That's it. So then why would we keep her around for just that?
Yeah. I don't.
Let's get into this dinner.
Yeah, situation. I know we talked about a lot of the dinner. I feel like there's not, the one question I had is when Shannon said she needed her purse to go to the bathroom. Is Shannon a cig smoker or a vapor? Because I was like, I wonder if she's smoking cigs in there.
Honestly, I feel like all boomers are vaping now. Boomer women.
Oh, yeah.
I know so many boomer women that are.
Yeah, I'm like, what's in that purse?
Shit out of life.
And like, Tamra's asking if it's alcohol. I'm like, there's a cig in there. I know it. I know.
Someone was vaping in my face at work the other day. I was about to lose my fuck. I was like, can you fucking not?
Yeah.
Like, can you fucking not?
Yeah. I feel like we talked about mostly. Like, I feel like we hit all the points. I mean, Tamra pretending that she's a bit. I think the one thing I would like to say is. Tamra towards the end softens when Shannon says Johnny J's suing me.
Yeah.
And Tamra says, like, it reminds me of the time that Jim Bellino, Alexis's ex-husband, tried to sue me and Shannon. And it brings me back to that point. Like, you needed Shannon to get in front of you to say what that feels like. Not to mention now you're friends with his ex-wife who was along the ride with it.
Did he win that lawsuit or no?
I can't remember. I don't think so. I don't think
defamation. I think is really hard anyway to prove in court.
The
thing is like this hug means nothing because she was on Watch What Happens Live 3 weeks ago, doubling down. So it's kind of like for nothing.
And I just wish Shannon didn't forgive her so quickly.
11.
How could you forgive her? What'd you say?
11. Oh, it's not for you. Sorry.
I just saw 111 a little bit ago. I just wish Shannon didn't forgive her so quickly.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that was just the one hug that we've seen. It sounds like they're still talking out, or at least Tamra's talking out about Shannon. So I don't know that that's even the case.
Well, hopefully. The defamation lawsuit, which filed in 2018 after comments made on Heather McDonald's podcast, was settled out of court.
Oh, so they did still have to pay money then.
Shannon's portion of the lawsuit was dismissed in 2019 and she was awarded attorney's fees.
Okay.
Both Tamra and Jim have not commented publicly about their settlement.
So then Tamra did have to pay something, it sounds like.
You never know. And she's now friends. Like, this doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It makes sense for Tamra. That's it. The only other person that I could see doing this exact thing is Teresa Giudice. These two are working from the same playbook.
Jackie Judas Goldschneider.
Like, exactly. Like, they are playing from the exact same playbook.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Well,
that wraps it up for today.
It wraps it up. We'll be back next week with an all new episode. Again, we're going to be with Larry from Bravo by Gaze. We are so excited to have him on board.
Manifested this.
Jenna manifested this like 5 months ago.
Yes.
We're so pumped, so hype. Tune in next Thursday for an all new episode of Bonded by Bravo. If you don't already, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Bonded by Bravo Pod, as well as X, formerly known as Twitter. Like and subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. You can now watch our full episodes on YouTube. If you're watching this week, I look a little crazy for whatever reason. My nose has been itching this entire episode, but tune in, watch us. We'll be back next week with an all new episode of Bonded by Bravo. Thank you, friends.